Hey guys, I'm Rachel Castile and welcome to Typology Corner. Today I'm going to be talking about extroverted feeling, which is one of the cognitive functions in objective personality and in the MBTI. So this function, whenever it's high up in someone, I'm going to kind of speak primarily as though this is the dominant function from that position. In that high position, these people are very much in tune with the emotions, the likes and the dislikes, the values of the social spectrum around them, of the people, of their tribe. They are very much in tune with what other people like, and they're making decisions on that primarily. So yeah, it is a tribe-focused function. So not identity. You can think of those as like two coins of each other. So people who lead with extroverted feeling, they are making decisions primarily on checking in with other people. It can be kind of validation seeking to make their decisions, wanting to know like what are the needs of other people, what do people like. It would be difficult for them to make a decision for themselves against the people that they value, the people that they care about, the tribe that's around them. They are more inclined to say, you know what, this is what everyone else wants. This is what will make them happy. So I'm going to choose this because it's going to make them happy. They're not checking in with their own reasons as much, but they might be aware of it, but they're more inclined to choose making other people happy. They can be people pleasing in a sense, but it's not always the case. It's an aspect. It's something that they have a propensity towards. So, but yeah, they are seeking to be aware of the collective kind of at all times. They're in the know. They're tuned into that in a sense. I guess that's one way to put it. That they're reading the room. They're feeling the vibe. They're feeling the emotions of other people. They are inclined to notice when someone is sad in the room, someone whose emotional state is different, I guess, from the people that they're conversating with, and they're inclined to want to kind of bring that person into the conversation, kind of toss a question to them, maybe say a joke that they think that person would identify with, and kind of get to tap into their emotions a bit to kind of change their emotional state. They're very they're very in tune that they really like feel the emotions of others almost as their own emotions, and that can be somewhat of the motive to shift their emotions because they're feeling it too. So it can be like, I want you to feel better, but also I'll feel better because you feel better because I'm feeling what you feel. Yeah. But yeah, as a primary like root thing, they have the human need of validation really high up to check in with other people. So a growth point for them is to be more selfish in a sense, to take time for themselves, to spend time with their own reasons, their own truth, to develop their own truth, and to make decisions off of that, and not just what's making other people happy, what's popular, what's acceptable, what's considered likable, I guess, or valuable by the people around them. So yeah, they are much more in the world of feelings, and it's not their own feelings, but they're in tune with the extroverted spectrum of feelings. Kind of like if a product is really liked by people, they'd be inclined to go eat at those restaurants because those restaurants are popular. They're more in tune with like the trends of what is valuable to people. It's not so much like extroverted thinking, which is more about what works for people, but this is just like the social spectrum of like what is likable, what's popular. Yeah, what are people valuing these days? Extroverted feelers are going to be aware of that, and they'll be inclined to make decisions that is congruent with that spectrum of like knowledge. I guess they're in tune with that. Extroverted feelers are inclined to be more emotionally expressive than introverted feelers. Introverted feelers can be like bubbly and, they can show their emotions, but extroverted feelers are expressive of their feelings, I guess. They have a need to express them. And introverted feelers are more so processing it. It's more personal. It's more closer to them. But on a spectrum, extroverted feelers will share big, gregarious emotions and not feel so identified by them, I guess. They can freely kind of give emotion with the motive of shifting the mood of the room. They can be kind of like over the top and dramatic. They can kind of be that person in the room because they kind of know the impact it has on people. And the end result is moving the emotions of the people around them. So I guess to be that catalyst, an extroverted feeler kind of can come in strong and like release a lot of emotion and kind of charge people up with emotion. And with the goal to shift the atmosphere, to shift the vibe of the room, or to cheer somebody up, make people feel better. They're very in tune with how people are feeling, so they can embellish their emotion, and it can be perceived as like inauthentic, I guess, in comparison to introverted feeling, which they're more like in tune with their own feelings and they stay true to their own feelings, and it's kind of like, oh, I don't like that, so I just told them I don't like that or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it can be introverted feelers are just staying true to their feelings more so. And extroverted feelers are freely giving kind of inauthentic emotion with the goal of creating harmony, moving other people, connecting with people. And really that's the motive. It's connecting and it's shifting, and it has more of an extroverted goal of impact in some way. Which is why their expression can be very dramatic. It can be fun as an extroverted feeler to be dramatic because dramatics create other like domino effects of other really cool emotional experiences too. So being dramatic can get other stuff out of other people, and like extroverted feelers can like to just vibe with other people. So it's like creating this vibe in the room, creating this like back and forth of just emotion sharing back and forth. That can be the experience of extroverted feelers with other extroverted feelers, just kind of soaking in each other's like vibe. I don't know what word to use, but that is an element to extroverted feeling. In a dominant position, you'll see that for sure. Secondary, tertiary, I'm an ESTP, so I have this function as my third function, and I do love this too in certain contexts, I guess, but it can be fun just to be like giddy and silly and loud and like say something like more dramatic than it actually was, just for shock value in a sense. It can just be fun to, it's the playing with the extroverted feeling, I guess. So, yeah. Extroverted feelers can be like a cheerleader, I guess, is one way to look at them. I heard someone use that term, and I'm like, hey, that really fits. It's like cheering, and they're supportive in that sense of really just rooting for other people, rooting for the happiness of other people. Seeing people do well can be like really satisfying to extroverted feelers. Considering we're more in touch with the emotions of other people, and yeah, it can feel great to be around people that are feeling great, I guess. And being in a state of harmony, I guess, is something that extroverted feelers value. I'm kind of thinking across the spectrum of being in different function slots, you know? But that's pretty true. Like, something that can make me miserable as an ESTP is if I did something that wronged someone, I guess, that made them feel worse, I guess. That can be like a not good feeling that I can try to make that better, I guess. So that's kind of like the worst thing to an extroverted feeler is like, I did something and I was the cause of the negative emotion when all I want is people to be happy, you know? That can be something that can be difficult for extroverted feelers to process. And there's growth in all of this and not just following and always accommodating your functions. So yeah, I guess in this video, I want to articulate what extroverted feeling is, and not necessarily the life path that they should take. It's just what they're inclined to do. And it doesn't always mean it's healthy in every, situation, I guess. But yeah, what else about extroverted feelers? I have extroverted feelers in my life, dominant ones. My sister is an extroverted feeler dominant, I believe. They just have really great people skills. They are just very connected with people. Their primary focus is people. As a decider, they are more focused on people. That's just true for them. I am a dominant observer type. So I can be more focused on like information and all kinds of stuff like that. I really love studying people and understanding people, but I find myself loving the information, loving the system, loving seeing all the details and just the observations of everything, which I think is helpful in like coaching people and stuff. But deciders are much more actually in the tribe out there, very much just in people's lives. They are intricately connected with people. They live for people, They are people for sure. Dominant extroverted feelers for sure. Yeah. That's their most natural state, is to be just out there with their tribe, with their friends, very much in a social environment is where they're most themselves. And yeah, I kind of mentioned this before, but them getting more into their introverted thinking is still a positive path for them. That what social things they wind up involving themselves in, it matches their identity. So they find like their place in the world that's not just guided purely by their current friend group and their friend group's opinions, or the religion that they're in, or the family that they're in. They can start to find like their own truths and then start to select the path or the people that they want to be around, the causes they want to live for, the needs they want to meet. They won't just be purely just out pleasing people, but they'll be helping the people that they want to help, that aligns with their identity. That's kind of the end goal for extroverted feelers to get that balance, that they're not just meeting any needs, but they start to meet the needs that fit their own truths and stuff. So, and that takes unplugging from the validation to find what they identify with themselves. It's a very good path for them to embark upon. Let's see. I took some notes here to see if there's something else I want to add. Yeah, this is something good. Types that are feelers. So this applies to more than just extroverted feeling. This is true for introverted feelers as well. But just on a spectrum, looking at thinking versus feeling in a sense. Savior feelers don't like to explain themselves unnecessarily. They're more vibe conscious. They're more like, hey, we're just doing what we like. We're just enjoying this moment. We're just enjoying this conversation. We're enjoying this laugh. We're in this moment, and thinking can kind of be like a bog down to them, I guess, to have to like explain themselves to people, explain why they like what they like. They just like what they like, right? And they just want to go be where they want to be. They kind of just want to live in the emotion of life and be in it and not have to analyze it as much. So that's just something that's an element there for them and for kind of just feelers in general. But yeah, let's see. Extroverted feeling is more childlike in ESTPs and ENTPs. That's my type. We have more of a naive picture of emotion and feeling, where it's less developed, so it's more innocent. It's more I guess I can just say, like, we can be like, oh, I got a new friend. Like, hey, this is my friend. Like, it's more like, it's childlike, I guess. In us, we're more analytical, but our feeling side is like children more than dominant feelers. So that's an element of just seeing this function in a lower position. Okay, what else? I had something else and I kind of lost it. I guess that's about it if I can't think of much else. Extroverted feeling is an awesome function. It's a vital part to be able to like honor people, I guess. It's probably the best way to say this is like the decision-making function that honors the equilibrium of other people, I guess. It's just being in tune with others, accommodating others, valuing harmony, not wanting to step on other people, wanting to hear people out. Kind of is the core of extroverted feeling. This is what it was. I was going to talk about a little bit more on it being a decider, like versus an observer function. So this isn't just purely about observing the emotions of people. It's making decisions based on the emotions of people. So they're perceptive, but this function specifically is not just about being able to see it. That can be kind of my experience as more of an observer, is I could like see the emotional spectrum, see what's going on, and not make a decision on it. I think that's a good comparison. I'm not inclined to do something about what I'm seeing as much. It's just like I saw that and I'm leaving it where it's at because I saw it, right? I'm just observing the emotional states of people. I'm less inclined to think, oh, they need to be happier or the sad person needs, like I very well can do that. I have the ability to make decisions on it, but I personally am a TI, introverted thinking, decider kind of person. Like that's the decisions I make more often than extroverted feeling type of decisions. So I can make decisions more about my identity, about what makes sense for me, and can kind of go against the collective more easily than a type who's leading with this. But yeah, this is a life guiding function in a sense. It's not just what I'm seeing. It's those that have this as a savior are choosing to turn based on these things, to close the case on this, to turn the ship around because everyone said they didn't like it. So we're leaving. Versus like, well, you know what? It meets all these criteria for me, so I'm staying, says a TI person. But FE's like, no, you know that nobody wants to be here? We have to leave. Nobody would be happy to be here. And the TI is like, well, it's everything I'm looking for, so I'll see y'all later. So I think that's a good comparison of seeing those types that have TI. They also have FE. I'll get into TI in a different video of they're having the opposite issue of leading with TI and being out of touch with the tribe altogether. And, being led by their own reasons alone, and then looking up and realizing how you know, they can fear like the tribe kind of turning on them because they've like not looked at the tribe at all and then notice like, whoa, I'm like way over here, you know, and it can kind of be startling a bit to see that they've missed what people are liking or where they fall on the social spectrum, I guess. So, brief overview of what it can feel like on the opposite end. Types that have TI and FE in the middle, they can kind of notice when they're been a little too selfish, I guess, and then lean back into being, you know, accommodating. And that's kind of like what my type is like when it's in the middle. So you got different imbalances based on what you're, you know, where your functions are, you know. But yeah, I think it's a good overview of extroverted feeling, decision function. It's about values, and yeah, I think that's about it. So if you got value out of it, give me a thumbs up. And for future content, go on and click the subscribe button below. Again, I appreciate you stopping by the channel for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.